The scene with the gun and the child. One Chicago Fire Season 13's badass scene highlights a major drawback to Damon's return. Jocelyn Hudon, Lizzie Novak, revealed that one scene from Chicago Fire Season 13 helped her understand her character more, leading to the conclusion that Michael Bradway, Jack Damon, shouldn't for her sake. Novak joined the series initially during Season 12, but Hudon became a series regular ahead of Season 13. Novak began a romance with Damon this past season, and the pair's chemistry was quite palpable. However, with Damon fired from Firehouse 51, it seems his time with the team and Novak may be over. Nonetheless, Novak is thriving in her work as a paramedic. She has been through a lot while working at both Firehouse 51 and Ambulance 61, judging by her backstory of how she hooked up with an instructor of hers and faced his wife who wasn't happy with her. Despite these ups and downs in Chicago Fire Season 13 and Season 12, Novak quickly became a character fans sympathized with and was surprisingly likable. During an interview with Dieties magazine, Hudon opened up about her journey to becoming an actress and her time on Chicago Fire. Hudon honed in on the first scene she ever filmed for the show, which really shaped how she progressed as Novak throughout the series. The scene in question was a young boy who had accidentally shot his brother and was now holding Novak and Violet at gunpoint. Luckily, Novak thought on her feet and successfully persuaded him to give her the weapon. This scene really humanized Novak, not only for Hudon, but always for the audience. Novak showed she is able to remain composed under pressure and has an empathetic nature about her. Despite her personal background as a homewrecker, Novak's work as a paramedic proves how her job is a large part of her identity. While Novak and Damon's relationship wasn't a huge storyline on Chicago Fire, it was a big part of their storylines on the show. The pair shared their first kiss closer to the end of Season 13, but their chemistry has been felt since the two laid eyes on each other. Novak and Damon then engage in a one-night stand, but Damon tells her the next day that he doesn't want a relationship, and she surprisingly takes it well, which makes Damon uncomfortable. Novak and Damon are slowly becoming a classic. Will they/won't they relationship network TV is known for doing. Despite Novak being completely fine with Damon not wanting a serious relationship, this could overshadow her career arc on Chicago Fire. Novak is truly a great paramedic and has proved she can do the job in stride from the moment viewers saw her on screen. Even though Damon says he doesn't want a relationship, it's clear their back and forth might be a focal point in their storylines. Damon returning to Chicago Fire could shift the focus from Novak's career to her love life. Since Novak is fine with not being in a committed relationship with Damon, there is no need to put such a focus on her romantic storyline on Chicago Fire Season 14. Of course, these types of storylines do tend to reel the audience in. But in this case, Novak's success as a paramedic on Chicago Fire has received a lot of positive feedback online. What writers can do is let Novak and Damon have their romantic dalliances here and there, but they shouldn't overshadow Novak's career as a paramedic. Fans have seen many like Novak come and go, and hopefully, a balance between her career and personal life means Novak will have a long career. Of a dispatcher's urgent tone filled the cab of Squad 3's rig as it tore down South Loomis Street. The call had been chilling. Possible armed subject in a residence, child still inside. Tension gripped the truck, but no one felt it more than Damon Washington. Damon had returned to Firehouse 51 just 3 shifts ago. After a 2-year transfer to another district, he'd come back older, harder, and carrying scars not visible on the surface. He had something to prove and something to hide. When the rig arrived, CPD had barely secured the perimeter. Officers crouched behind doors, guns drawn, aiming at a worn-down house with chipping yellow paint and a crooked swing on the porch. Inside, a child was reportedly hiding in a closet. The suspect, a distraught father recently fired and armed, was believed to be somewhere in the home. Chief Bowden's voice came through Damon's radio. "We're the only ones who can get in and out fast. Damon, Cruz, you're up. Breach through the back. Get the kid." Damon nodded sharply. Cruz gave him a wary glance. "You good?" Damon didn't answer. He just adjusted his gear and moved. He was already slipping back into the mindset that had kept him alive in rougher neighborhoods, where fire wasn't always the deadliest thing in the room. They broke in through a side door, silent as ghosts, air thick with adrenaline. Damon's eyes flicked over the living room. Signs of a struggle, an overturned lamp, broken dishes. He could hear sobbing. Not the deep sobs of an adult. A child. Closet. Upstairs. As they crept through the hallway, the unmistakable click of a gun slide echoed down the staircase. Damon froze, signaling Cruz to hold. The next second, the suspect emerged from the hallway with a semi-automatic pistol shaking in his hand. His eyes were wide and broken. "Back off," he screamed. "You're not taking my daughter." Cruz took a half step forward, hands raised. Hey, we're not cops. We're here to make sure your daughter is okay. That's all." But the man was too far gone. "Liar," he shrieked, raising the weapon. And that's when Damon moved. Like a shadow. Like lightning. In a second that felt like forever, Damon launched forward, not away. He ducked low, grabbed a broken broomstick off the floor, and struck the man's gun arm in one clean, surgical move. The pistol went flying. Cruz lunged and secured the man with a firefighter's brute strength. The house fell silent. Damon was already racing up the stairs. He didn't wait for backup, didn't radio in. He kicked open doors, checking everyone. Finally, in a back bedroom closet, he found her, curled in a ball, her eyes wide with terror. A little girl, no older than 6, clutched a stuffed bear like it was her oxygen tank. "It's okay," Damon whispered. "I'm with the fire department. I got you." He scooped her up, her tiny arms clinging to his gear as he carried her down the stairs, past the restrained man sobbing on the floor, past the squad car lights, past the chaos. Outside, medics took over. Damon just stood there, breathing hard, the residue of adrenaline burning through his veins. The moment went viral within the hour. The scene with the gun and the child was caught on a Ring camera from across the street. The footage played on every local news station. Damon's takedown was labeled heroic, badass, brave beyond belief. Comments flooded in. "Firefighters don't sign up for that," one viewer wrote. "That man deserves a medal," said another. But inside Firehouse 51, the celebration was muted. Bowden pulled Damon into his office that night. "You saved a child." "That's not something we ever take lightly," Bowden said, eyes heavy. "But you broke protocol. You engaged an armed suspect before police could neutralize the threat. That could have gone very differently." Damon stared ahead, his jaw tight. There wasn't time. Bowden nodded slowly. "Sometimes there isn't. But you didn't radio. You didn't communicate. You charged forward like it was a war zone." "It was a war zone," Damon snapped, then caught himself. He exhaled. "I'm sorry, Chief. I didn't think. I saw a threat. I reacted." "That's the thing," Bowden said gently. "You're not CPD. You're not SWAT. You're here to rescue, not to fight. And while that instinct saved a life today, that same instinct might get someone killed tomorrow. Maybe you. Maybe Cruz." That's when it sank in. Damon's return had come with heroics, but also a red flag. His time away had changed him. In another firehouse, in another district, his role had blurred. He had taken on too many high-risk calls, filled too many shoes. Paramedic, peacekeeper, protector. And now he didn't know how to turn it off.